Hello, and thanks again for tuning in to another week of Flump9 versus you. I apologise, I didn't do one last week. Life keeps getting in the way. I know that's no excuse, but it does. So it seems like a lifetime ago trying to remember what the results were from like 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I will just now show you the results. I faced Luke from Irons United. I'll show you the results, show you how we both got on, and then I'll have a chat about who I'm facing this week. So here are the results from a couple of weeks ago. I know I was happy to get the first one wrong, and I'm sure Luke was too. Spurs losing is always good. Bournemouth, Leicester, we both didn't predict that. I doubt anyone correctly predicted the 4-2 scoreline. I'd love to know what the odds were on that. Chelsea, Cardiff, we both correctly predicted the result. Who else we got here? Obviously West Ham, Everton. We both correctly predicted that one, which was good. It's a really close week, actually. I think we both got 6 points, 6 correct results, but Luke just managing to beat me with 1 extra point. So it was 11-12. Now on to the table. Roger still at the top. Wonder how long he's going to manage to stay there. Luke now going into second place with 12 points, and my grand total is still 11. And now, obviously, all competitors versus me. I am 10 points behind, all thanks to Roger. Thanks. Yeah, so I am really far behind, so I need a brilliant week this week against my opponent, Erol. What can I say about Erol? He is a character. Yeah, he really is. You only have to read his random facts to work that out. Yeah, so anyway, I'm hoping I have a better week this week and I actually managed to beat my opponent quite significantly so I can actually start clawing my way back up the league. So here it is, me versus Erol. So the early kickoff on Saturday, it's usually one of the big teams playing, and Saturday is no different. It's West Ham versus Man United. Obviously the big team is West Ham. Hey, getting a bit carried away now with the win against Everton, the draw against Chelsea, and obviously the 8-0 win against Macclesfield. I'm not really getting carried away. But anyway, my prediction. I honestly believe that we can get something from this game. Man United are all over the place at the moment, and it's as good a time to take points from them as any. Saying that, it's the sort of game that, you know, because we're getting a little bit confident now, and Man United, the pressure's on Mourinho, will probably come out and destroy us. But no, I have faith. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Ham win. Hope I'm right.
Hi, I'm Erol. Katie's asked me to do this week's predictions. Just had a little look at the league table. I'm in 11th, and a whopping 19 points above me in second is Katie. So it don't take a brain surgeon to work out why she's asked me to do this week's, does it? So I won't disappoint you, Katie. I'm sure you're going to stuff me. However, I'll give it a go. So, first game, the Saturday morning game, West Ham, Man United. Anything can happen here. They're in all sorts of trouble, aren't they, with Pogba and Mourinho, and they're just playing like a bag of shit every game. Very boring to watch. I don't think Mourinho's going to last the season. But what's going to happen on Saturday? I think we'll win it. I think we'll win it 2-1. I'll go West Ham 2, Man United 1.
Arsenal versus Watford. Arsenal now are really, they've got going. They're unbeaten in 4, I think. Obviously, Watford have had a good season. However, they only managed to draw with Fulham last weekend. They obviously lost to Man United before that. And sadly, they lost to Tottenham in the Cup. That's a bit gutting. But anyway, I think Arsenal will win it. Although Watford have been strong, I think Arsenal have really kicked on this season once they beat us. And I can only see a home win. So I'm going to go with Arsenal 2, Watford 1.
Next game, Arsenal-Watford. Both teams are playing well. Arsenal started off a little bit slowly under Unai Emery, but that's to be expected. But they've really picked up some form, and they seem to be winning most weeks, I think. I think they're on a good run, and I think they're going to do well this season. Watford have surprised everyone, but they come unstuck in the last week, losing at home to Man U and getting knocked out of the cup by Spurs. I think Arsenal win this quite easily. To be fair, I think I'm going for a 3-1 Arsenal win.
Everton obviously lost to Arsenal last weekend, and they lost to us the weekend before. At the time, I was quite shocked because I thought Everton were actually doing all right. But having looked back at their results, they're not looking that brilliant. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, I don't know why I thought it. I thought they had started off not too badly. I mean, it wasn't as bad as us. That's probably why. Anyway, Fulham, they obviously managed to draw with Watford, which was a good result. So I think this game's going to be really tight. So I'm going to go with a draw, but I think there'll be goals. So I'm going to go with 2-2.
Everton, Fulham. Again, Everton. Anyone that went up to Goodison Park last week, I mean, how bad were Everton? I was genuinely expecting us to get turned over. But, you know, we played them off the park. They were poor, really poor. Fulham ain't much better. They've not won a game yet. I'm going for a 1-1 boring draw.
Huddersfield have had a poor start. They're bottom of the league. Not that there's much in it, you know, we're hardly that much further ahead. Spurs have obviously had a bit of a dip, but managed to beat Brighton, and then were lucky in the cup. But yeah, I don't think Huddersfield are going to get anything from this game. I pray that I'm wrong, as I always do when it comes to Tottenham. But no, Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 2.
Next game is Huddersfield against Spurs. Spurs, they're not quite the team they were last year. Something's not quite right there. But Huddersfield, I mean, they are poor as well, aren't they? Huddersfield, I can't see them getting anything out of this. It's just a question of how much Spurs are going to win by. I'm going to go for a Spurs 3-0 with Harry Kane getting at least one of them. That's not a hard prediction, is it? But yeah, Spurs 3-0, Harry Kane to score.
Man City, Brighton. Man City or Man City. Brighton have done all right. They'll be pleased with the start of the season they've had, but it's Man City and they're at home, and Man City have really sort of kicked on the last few games, scoring lots of goals like they did last season. I think Brighton will score in it though. I think that Man City will concede, but 3-1 Man City.
Man City, Brighton. Well, Brighton are a good team at home, but away from home, they're away from home against Man City. Oh my God, it's how many, isn't it? It literally is how many, and I will say Manchester City 5, Brighton and Hove Albion 0.
Newcastle versus Leicester. Newcastle really haven't had a very good start. They've yet to win a game. I think it's drawn 2, lost 4. And I think I'm going to go with making that a third draw. They're at home. Leicester are a bit random as well. Not particularly exciting game. I'm just going to go for a 1-1 here.
Next game is Newcastle-Leicester. Newcastle, what can I say? They're in all sorts of trouble. They've not won a game. There's no investment in the team. You got an owner that doesn't want to be there really, but won't sell it because he wants too much. You got a manager who's desperate for players but can't have them. Not scoring goals. Can't see where the goals come from. Think they get beaten by Leicester. I'm going 1-0 Leicester.
Wolves versus Southampton. I think Wolves will be favourites here, and I'm going to go with who I reckon the favourite is. Yeah, Wolves to win. Southampton, I haven't really got anything to say about Southampton, if I'm honest. Don't think it'll be that exciting. I think it'll be one goal in it, 1-0 Wolves.
Wolves Southampton. Wolves are playing well, aren't they? Decent team. Great player in Navas, whatever he calls himself. Yeah, I mean, I think Wolves win this one. Southampton are one of those teams, aren't they? They're just boring. You know, who supports Southampton? Who takes any interest in them? I mean, they're just dull for me. I think Wolves win it, and I think they win it. Let's say 2-0.
Chelsea versus Liverpool, I think, will be a good game. Obviously, they played in the Cup in the week, and Chelsea won, but this is a totally different thing. I mean, obviously, they're both going to be wanting to win the league, but I think Liverpool have got more of a shout at that. Yeah, you know, we managed to get a point from Chelsea, whereas we lost 4-0 to Liverpool. Anyway, yeah, I think Liverpool are going all out this season to win the league, and therefore I expect them to get 3 points. 2-1 Liverpool.
Chelsea versus Liverpool. Well, this is the game of the weekend. Played each other midweek. Chelsea won 2-1, but you can't read anything into that. That both teams rested a lot of players. This is a big game. Liverpool 6 out of 6 in fact, and despite winning 6 out of 6, being top of the table on 18 points, they've not reached the heights yet that they were playing at last year. I mean, there is a lot still to come from them. Salah isn't at 100%. When he starts scoring goals and when those front three really start playing, for me, Liverpool win the league. I said that at the beginning of the season. Nothing has changed my mind. I think Liverpool win the league. I think Liverpool win this game. I'll say Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1.
Cardiff versus Burnley. Cardiff really haven't had a great start to the season. They were one of my favourites to be relegated this season, and I probably would stick with that at the moment. They have just come off the back of 2 quite heavy defeats. Can't remember the score lines, but yeah, I think they've had tough games, Man City and Chelsea. And you know, this is probably a little bit easier because Burnley are really random. After having a great season last season, I don't know what's happened with them. Having said that, they did beat Bournemouth last week 4-0. So, see what I mean? Random. Yeah, but I think Burnley will get the 3 points. Yeah, 2-1 Burnley. That's all I can say.
The Sunday game is Cardiff-Burnley. I'll be watching the Ryder Cup, to be honest. Fucking boring game this is going to be. Cardiff ain't won a game. Burnley, up until last week, were poor, probably because they're European games. Got a big result last week, I think 4-0. So they'll be full of confidence. I think Burnley win this game, but I think it'll be dull as dish. I'm going 1-0 Burnley.
As I just said a moment ago, Bournemouth lost to Burnley 4-0. But I think the week before that, they beat Leicester 4-2. I mean, another random side for me. Palace had an alright start to the season, similar to Bournemouth, to be honest. I think it'll be quite an exciting game. I think there will be goals. I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go with 2-2 for this one.
And the last game is the Monday night game. Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. This will be an entertaining game. I think there'll be goals in this. Both teams on their day can beat most of these teams in the league. I think there'll be a lot of goals. But I think Bournemouth will nick it. I'm going for Bournemouth 3-2. So those are my predictions. I'd be absolutely gobsmacked if I win. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I get 0 points. But let's see. don't advise anyone to have any money on any of my selections because, to be fair, I think this week was extremely difficult. There's a lot of hard games there. You know, where I've gone for a home win, it could be an away win and vice versa. But all for a bit of fun. Come on, you Irons.
I love this game.